Hey kitty kitties, what up, what up? Welcome to Primal Scream. This is your host, Nick Graystone. For the next hour, we're going to talk about fantasy, reality, and everything in between. Let's go. Hey kitty.
Hey kitty kitties, what up? My dad's in the bathroom right now, and he's checking if he pooped his pants, and we just went to Moe's, so, yeah. Well, let's get started.
Zozo, do we go on yet?
Yeah, we're on now.
We did?
Yeah.
Whew. All right.
Did you poop your pants?
I don't know. I'm nervous.
Ooh.
It was a close call. You did it? You started the show?
Yeah. It's on.
Oh, sick job, kiddo. I'm very proud of you.
Felt.
Yeah, that was a close call. I almost had to perform surgery again in there. You know, your dad's getting up in that age where it's kind of like the circle of life, kid. You know, you came into this world. I was changing your diaper. Pretty soon you're going to have to changing daddy's.
Nope.
You know, so I don't have to go into the bathroom and rip off my my shorts and change my own. Because I almost did tonight. It was close. Scary, you know, but that's what happens. That's what happens when you eat the Moe's for dinner and you're on the run.
Yep.
All right, what's up, kitty kitties? Welcome to Primal Scream. As you can see, we have a co-pilot right now running the show. Give it up for the lovely Zozo. Golf clap. Did a great job from what I'm hearing. So, all right, cool. We have an awesome guest on tonight. The director and writer of Sweetmeats, Ricky Glore. He's in the waiting room right now, but we're going to bring him on in a little bit. You remember Ricky, right? Zozo? Yeah, it was cool, right? We did... So your dad get killed with the rest of the band when we filmed our scene, but...
Yeah, that was fun.
It was, right? You're in that movie, too.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You played the child.
The child.
There's only one other actor right now that plays the child, and that is Grogu, right? They call him the child.
Yes.
Who's that? Yoda's kid?
That's Yoda.
Oh, young Yoda.
Young Yoda.
Oh, young Yoda. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't really watch The Mandalorian, but Zozo keeps me updated with that stuff.
No, I don't watch it.
You don't watch it
I
either?
don't watch it either.
So how do you know about it?
Because I'm a big fan of Star Wars, and
Yeah, but I'm a fan too, but I didn't know about that.
they don't. His Grogu's.
So
But-
really, Yoda's real name is Grogu?
Yeah, I think Yoda is just a nickname. I don't know. Yeah.
So they lied to me all these years?
I think.
30 years of deceit. His real name is Grogu, huh?
I think.
What happens if Daddy told you his real name was Otto?
I don't be mad.
And your name would be Zato?
No.
No, you like Zoe?
I like Zoe. That's my thing.
I missed this kid this last week. She was up in Lake George. You had a good time, right?
Yeah.
You went into the wax museum?
The Wax Museum? Yes.
Which wax museum was that?
Maybe the guy that's tall that has the big boots named Frankenstein.
Oh, Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's
monster. Because Dr. Frankenstein is the guy who made Frankenstein. So Frankenstein is really Frankenstein, but the monster is Frankenstein.
Frankenstein's
Monster.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's cool. He's there, right? So what is it, the House of Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I brought you there when you were
tiny little me.
Grogu.
Tiny little me.
And you didn't want to go in, but now you're leading the charge and you're going in there.
No, I'm not.
You're not? You're still not?
But I like it though. It's cool.
But last year you were in the haunted house with me Schmitz.
I mean, that's worse.
It was worse.
But
Schmitz is worse
I mean, I get sensitive
because of the sounds and stuff.
with the Frankenstein already, because like there's by like close to the end, close to it. The electric chair literally was like,
Yeah,
but like very
zapping.
loud, and zapping sounds like everything screaming. I could hear that from like 2 rooms away. So
Who was screaming, Tata?
the person.
Speaking of Tata, I actually want to plug a little thing we're doing. Tata, a.k.a. Rich White, my brother-in-law. We are going to make a documentary that I've been talking about for the longest time. It's about Robert Schulman. He worked as a postal worker up until the point where he got arrested for, I would say earmuffs, but you already have stuff on your ears, Zozo, so I'm not trying to scare you. But yeah, he was arrested for killing some people.
I don't care.
You don't care?
It's fine.
You're desensitized about that stuff, right?
What?
Because what did Daddy tell you always about that?
Eat your crust.
Eat your crust, right? Very good, Zozo. Eat your crust, and you got nothing to worry about. Well, I think Robert Schulman did eat the crust, but he also, Well, I got a trailer that Rich put together, and it's called The Unknown Killer. And we're in pre-production right now, and it should be coming out soon. But I'd like to play that trailer for you right now. That was the trailer for The Unknown Killer, and the reason being that I am so interested in this case is Robert Schulman actually worked in both of the offices that I've worked in, Hicksville and Melville. He was a mail clerk, and I've had co-workers, the ones that have been there for a while, because he got arrested back in the 90s, that worked with him. And I was, obviously, that I'm into true crime, but I just feel like this case, being that it really wasn't always talked about, really should be back in the spotlight, because I feel like with the advances with DNA, you get some of those unidentified victims maybe identified. And, the similarities, I want to talk about him and our flavor of the week right now, Rex Huerman. And, we're working on getting a interview with one of the journalists that followed the case back in the day, and it's going to be a great little documentary. And I'm proud to be working with Rich on this, and glad that he's helping me out. He's coming on as executive producer and director of photography, and he's going to do the editing and stuff. And Demon Scar is going to do the music for it, and watch for this for late 2024 and 2025. So, all right. You know what? We have our guest for the night that is, other than Zozo, Ricky. I'm just going to bring him in. Ricky Glore, how are you, sir?
Hey, I tip my hat to the other guest. Hello, Zozo. How are you doing?
Good.
That's
what was
cool.
your pre-show snack before you went on the air? Because I'm sure your dad was like, you can't eat anything while you're talking in a microphone.
Yeah, no, she listened. She actually, if you saw from the beginning, she had to step in for me because I had almost a little bit of an accident. But, it happens.
Is there anything that you munched on before?
Yeah, I had Moe's, and
Not you. I'm not talking about your butthole.
oh, you don't want to know?
We heard all of that.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, did she prepare better than you? You like you knowing what the task is about like having to sit in front of a microphone. Was she like, you know what, I'm not gonna go extra sour cream, extra cheese, or whatever you did?
Whatever I did to my incisors.
Yeah, whatever choices you made as a full-blown adult,
I
where she
think I had
doesn't
more
have
sour
the
cream.
concept.
I had more
Yeah,
sour
no,
cream.
she actually had the lead bomb. She had
I had more.
the home wrecker.
I had more.
I went for the quesadilla, but you know, that's
Yeah,
still
you just had a couple of chips and a squeeze of lime. That's all you
you're
had.
right. I'll just smell hers. Like in what
Give me
was
some
that?
fries. I'm starving.
What was that? Easy Money. Remember when he's on the diet?
Yeah.
And he's like gets the hot dogs. He's like, I'll just smell his.
Hey, I just smell it.
So, kiddies, Ricky Glore, he is the writer and director of the upcoming Troma film Sweetmeats. I've had the privilege of crossing paths with this talented comedian slash actor slash writer slash everything.
Many hat wearer.
Yeah.
So I am just like a carousel of hat wearing. I feel like there is no one definition. Like each project that we do, I have to wear maybe two less hats. But for this, many hats. That's not to say that we didn't have lovely support and you got to meet two of that, which was Chris Morris and Mike Flincham when we came up to the Jason's
That's right.
the Jason slaying of Demon Scar. But yeah, it's the best thing about indie films is watching the gestation of everything like come together out of these little pieces that you put together here and there. Like Don Coscarelli's story of Phantasm, the first movie being shot on weekends for like 3 years. I was just like, no, there's no way. Like that movie is such a classic and like looks so good. But like if you study it, you can see that Michael Baldwin like definitely ages at different points in the movie. And he ended up having like a 3 hour cut where there were scenes in Reggie's ice cream shop. And he sat down and he's like, yeah, but that doesn't make this the horror movie. That's what I love about indie movies is the puzzle aspect of it. Like you can start off with a script and an idea and a story, but if you're not willing to bend to see like how you can get all the pieces together, then you're just going to be banging your head up against a wall. Like with you guys, your guys' kill scene is the first credit sequence, and it turns into a music video, which is a reoccurring thing in Sweetmeats. But throughout the movie, your guys' presence is known with a show poster that keeps on getting posted in this small town restaurant, and it's your guys' logo, like the three-headed beast. And like the owner of the restaurant is just like, oh, there's devil music in my town. And he's threatening. He's like, if you have my permission, if you hear or see them, you can kill them. And it isn't until like you kind of forget about it. And at the end of the movie, the credits kick in, and the first cutaway credit sequence is the killer, which I won't give away. Maybe that's going to be a questionable thing. I don't know. You saw a rough cut.
Yeah.
But until next week in front of the Troma audience where they see or I mean, you'll see it too, the more finalized cut. I don't know if that's a question people will be asking. I think that would be interesting. What do you think? Do you think people know who the killer is in the pig mask?
I mean, from watching it, watching the rough cut, it is a question. Like, you know, who is it? And
until that final, like,
yeah,
in the movie, brutal murder.
Right.
Like brutal, like it's not like hard to watch, like it's Hostel 2 or something with her getting
it's fun.
Her neck slit. Yeah. Like it's a emotionally brutal murder. I think until then, like based on the indie film nature, I physically was the pig killer who killed you guys up in Pennsylvania. But my character, Bobby Sweet, isn't necessarily 100% like the killer.
No. Not at all.
Yeah.
That's not what I gathered. Not at
Yeah.
all. So
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. I mean, I have no idea what the reception is going to be for the movie. Sorry, I've just like grabbed your show and just ran with it.
no,
But
I'm happy you did that because you know what? I'm happy you mentioned Phantasm. I'm not even like trying to like talk about Sweetmeats right now because now I'm going back to the Phantasm, dude. Like
I have
Phantasm
my
was one of the
Phantasm
first
poster,
movies.
Phantasm 2 right here.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, Phantasm was one of the first movies that really freaked me out. Like,
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw, I watched as a young man, and I don't know, I just enjoyed it, and I was laughing at it and stuff. I mean, it was crazy. But Phantasm, like, I had to sleep on my parents' floor for like weeks. Like, the Angus Scrim as the tall man was like one of the most intimidating presence like on screen. And
You have, I think you posted on social media different pictures of you and Mr. Scrim
Yeah.
throughout the years, like as a child. So the first time I met him, and I'll dig it up. I'm 4, maybe 5. I guess I'm 6 because they had just wrapped Phantasm 3, and it still took them 2 years to release.
okay,
I met him at a convention in New Jersey, I believe, and
was it Chiller?
yeah, I think it was one of the Chiller theaters.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was the year that I'm pretty sure sitting next to him was Ron Chaney, Boris Karloff, Sarah Karloff, his daughter, and Bella's son. Um,
Wow.
I think Vincent Price and Peter Cushing were supposed to be at the convention, and they had to send a letter canceling.
Yeah.
Like that's the reason we were there. But it's the first time I met Angus Grimm. So I'm like 6 years old, and my dad comes up to the table, and Angus is a very gentle man when he's not in his tall
Oh,
man.
totally, right? So
It doesn't
nice.
matter about the makeup. He saw me, this small child, and just like leaned over to my dad and was just like, "Has he seen the movies?" And my dad's like, "Yeah, yeah, he's seen them." And he's like, "Okay." And so then he cocked his eye and he went, "Oh." And I mean, you talk about eating Moe's and shit in your pants. I didn't eat Moe's. Like it was just Angus Grimm,
Yeah,
just like
man.
contorting his face, and it was like, the reason why the Elm Street series is my all-time favorite is because I feel like that's the series where you can almost like live out what the movie is. Like you can go to bed and have a Freddy dream, and you're living the exact same thing that people in the movie are. Phantasm, very similar because it is a nightmare like realm. I think that's like the hands when Michael's in bed and it comes around and he's standing
Dude,
above
what
it.
a visual, what the way that was shot, just so unbelievable. What was the budget for that movie? Like it was made very like
I mean, it wasn't as little as like a Halloween,
yeah.
because Halloween for the longest time held the record for the most indiest movie that then did well.
Yeah.
But again, he made it over a long
3
period of time.
years.
He's come up.
That's something. And you know what? I never realized that how he aged over the thing. I never like even picked up on it because I'm just so I don't know.
Well, it's a dreamscape like kind of thing anyway.
Yeah.
So like seeing him change and whatever, like obviously Reggie and Jody still look the same age and the tall man looks the same.
Yeah.
But it was filming for so long that they had their little brown hooded minions. They were filming before Star Wars came out. And then
Wow.
they saw Star Wars and saw the Jawas with the brown hoods. And they were like, son of a bitch.
Right, they
Like, we
stole
have,
it.
and like, yeah, they're like, we can't do anything about that. Like, we're not gonna go back and exercise that from the script.
No,
But
because
yeah,
they're a big part of the movie.
yeah, Phantasm this is being a fan and like loving how things are made. I mean, even the very indie nature of Texas Chainsaw basically being a step above a Texas University student film. to Phantasm, filming it on the weekends over the years. Um, the first time I got to meet Don Coscarelli, I had loved. It was only Phantasm 1 through 4 out at the time, and reading Starlog, going to conventions, talking to Reggie Bannister, Angus Graham, I was just like, so like, okay, Phantasm 4, I know you had to make that because you had to make something to see if you could really tell the end of the story. Like they had already had Roger Avery's Phantasm's end script, where Bruce Campbell was supposed to be in it, and like the leader of this militia. Fascinating stuff. If you look up any podcast where they talk about it, I think Roger Avery's talked about it too. But I was just like, talking to Don, I was like, so what are you going to do for 5? Like, have you gotten enough budget? You could crowdfund now. Like, fans, PHANS, is they will fund Phantasm's End, which was the name originally of 5 that
Right.
Roger Avery had written. And Don was just like, no, um, we've never really cared about, like, or had thought about, like, where the series is going story wise, like what the answers are for anything. He's like, we just kind of make it up each movie as we go. And I was just like, oh. Because there is that science fiction element of Phantasm that there just feels like something grander, like something this wicked this way comes.
Yeah, I mean that's just a credit to also to the filmmaker because he leaves you just mind boggled for the whole thing, and like you leave the movie and that's the crazy part about it. You know, like you don't know understand some of it. You watched it.
Scientology may be the best like analogy for Phantasm. So as a Phantasm fan, you watch the first movie, then you're like, oh, who is this character in these spheres? And there's this red planet, and it's just so weird and just interesting and dreamlike. And then the second movie, I always thought was their version of Terminator 2 before Terminator 2 happened. You have the more grounded first movie, and then the second movie's this like bombastic action-packed, 4-barrel shotgun, just the exploding grenades and the little traps they're doing, and it's a road picture, it's a road movie. Like Phantasm 2, whenever I was introducing anybody to the series, I'd show them 2 first, and then I'd show them 1.
Oh, okay.
If they dug 2, ball going into the dude and like.
Yeah, there's definitely more. The budget's more and it's bigger.
It's more Demon Scar, like, or it's just like like.
I agree.
But
where the first one is more Black Sabbath.
Yeah, and it's a little bit more like chill, just like you're gonna go on a ride and like what's real, what isn't real. Again, very. Elm's Craven ripped off some Phantasm. But like,
I'm sure, yeah, he had an influence on a bunch
Coscarelli has talked about it. He has a true indie biography that you can do the audio with him reading it or his book, where he was influenced by Argento Suspiria, just like the color palette with like the reds and the blues that they did with the extreme lighting.
Okay,
he added that surrealism of the things that he was seeing over the 3-year period. Because he, coming off of Jim's the World's Greatest and Kinney and Company, 2 comedy dramas, almost like after-school specials. Those were his first 2 movies made around the Universal times, where he was on the lot working for them. He saw a scene in, I think, Kinney and Company, where there's a jump scare in the movie. And he saw the test screening audience like physically react, and he was just like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "What if I could do that for 90 minutes?" And so that's the only reason like Phantasm became anything, because he was just like, "Man, cheap horror movies make a lot of money."
Oh, sure, absolutely, man.
This is the Phantasm podcast.
Well, I mean, you started it, but then I went back. I had to because of you. I'm happy we talked about this because I could talk obviously, I could go on and on about Phantasm. I love it. I love the series and everything.
To cap it off, my like besmirching Don a little bit, being like we make it up as we go. That is great indie spirit, because you can't. That goes with what I'm saying about putting the puzzle together. you can have an idea of where you want it to go, but
Yeah.
if you're not flexible to watch the picture evolve, then you're just going to be very upset and end up with an inferior product because
Right.
the indie nature is that like you're putting together a puzzle, but the picture will change slightly. He has gone back and he now has a book called Fiction, Phicton, and it is stories from within the Phantasm world that do connect the mythology of some of the movies and expand on some of the characters that he didn't get to do with the films because of the run and gun indie nature of every single, except for part two and a little bit of part three. One, four, and five are 100% like that guerrilla indie kind of
Yeah.
spirit.
Absolutely. I feel like two came out, and the hype of big sequels, like you said, it's like T2 of versus, Terminator. Just they had to raise the bar and they had to make it more action packed and whatever, and that's came out good though. I think they did a great job with that.
I've never even seen it.
You haven't seen it, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I don't. You know what? I guess I could show it to you. It's nothing really
You
crazy.
said they
Wait, do we
slept
want to
on
watch
your
that?
parents'
Do we want to watch
floor?
it next Friday?
That might be a good idea. You want to
What?
watch Phantasm next Friday when Ricky stays? That's right. 'Cause
Maybe.
Ricky's staying over the house next week. I told
Did you
her
not
about
know
this
that?
before, but because next week we're actually showing the screener. What is it called again? A focus group.
It is very specifically titled a focus group screening because everyone who goes and sees it has to be given a tiny golf pencil. The size of pencil is not like regulated, actually. It's not, there's nothing lawfully going on there. But a pencil and a comment card so there will be some prompts of questions. I don't know what they will be. I've given a suggestion of one question. But it might be some just generic like surveying.
Okay.
But everybody who sees it has to be given that so the movie can be kept its premiere status.
You know
So
what?
then
They
after
did that
this-
for when I went to one of those for Halloween.
Curse of the Werewolf?
Halloween 2018.
Wasn't that like,
Really? You went to the
they did that, like, not too long
It was a
ago?
screening of it, and it wasn't done. And
Wow.
what's his name was there? Not
David Gordon Green?
not David
Or
Gordon
Danny
Green.
McBride?
It was what's his name?
Danny McBride?
No,
Or Mustafa Akkad?
no, not Akkad.
Oh, not Mustafa, but his son. Akkad.
Blum, Jason Blum.
Oh, Jason Blum. Wow.
Yeah, he was there, and they showed the movie. It didn't have, it had the score. It didn't have the opening with the pumpkin like rotting backwards or whatever.
Yeah, the reverse.
Yeah, so it didn't have the reverse of that, and they changed the ending, but they showed
What was
most of what I saw came out with the theatrical, but it was also about 8 months before they released it. And it was cool because my friend that worked at AMC hit me up during the day, and he was like, dude, they're doing this screening, but it's like first come, first serve. So if you come here, the word's getting out that it's going to be Halloween, but I know it's Halloween, so you should get here, wait online. So I waited online for about, like 2 hours or so, and I got in, and yeah, the same thing. They handed out it's like a paper and, what worked, what didn't work kind of thing. And and then they just did on a scale of 1 to 9. And they asked certain things like, what do you rate it? But I was a fan. I liked what they did in that 2018 Halloween. Halloween Kills.
Did you?
Yeah,
So,
I did.
Can I will make I won't get on a soapbox too much about it, but I think there has been a pandemic of have your cake and eat it too with these legacy sequels, and I'm worried that Scream's going to fall into this, where they're going to ignore a certain amount of films, and in the Halloween series, that sequel tree is fucked.
Oh, totally.
I'm
I
sorry.
feel like Halloween has been dragged through the mud so much, and this is dating back to Season of the Witch. Like, first two, I feel like one long movie, and then 3 they throw us this curveball where it was.
So how can you like 2018 if you are one of the people that think 1 and 2 is one long movie? That you like them both together when they're saying 2 didn't happen. But I think the most egregious thing is ignoring H2O.
Yeah, well, I mean, they ignored H2O. I mean, they didn't even make,
Oh, they ignore 2. She's not his sister.
His sister.
They're not familial.
Yeah.
But to ignore Jamie Lee Curtis's performance in H2O, someone who's dealing with PTSD and has become an alcoholic who cannot have a relationship with a man in her life, being the father of John. And then when John becomes age of being a man, that's when they have the biggest conflict together, because her biggest conflict with a man is her brother. Like,
right.
There's so many fucking layers to H2O that Tarantino was trying to get Harvey Weinstein to get Jamie Lee Curtis a nomination for an Oscar. Like, that's
for
how
H2O?
revered, yeah, her performance was at the time. But my grievance with Halloween 2018, where there's a lot of things that I like the podcasting true crime element.
Yeah.
They only get me liking that Jamie Lee Curtis is back because of the weight that I give the character of Laurie Strode, of what I know as a fan that character's journey was, even though they're telling me it was erased. So, like, her going through 1 through 2, which, like you said, more the night of, her going through faking a car accident to give up her daughter, Daniel Harris, for part 4, 5, and 6, where they try to impregnate her daughter, his
with
niece.
the thorn. Yeah, right.
Yeah, like, so all of that I fucking dig, and like I love H2O, and so she has tried to like witness protection herself for all that. That makes sense if someone went through a couple instances of a mass serial killer, for why she's so cuckoo bananas in 2018.
Well, by the time, like, if they would have not what do they call that? Retcon.
Yeah.
Any of
if they had not had retconned.
Yeah, she would have been she would have been a basket case by then.
Or she would have been, she had her own camp.
Yeah.
Like, she had her own base camp. She was her own, like, incel, like, warrior. Like, that makes sense. And that's, they wanted to erase everything to honor Carpenter, because he has notoriously said that he wrote Halloween 2 on a weekend in a 48 cans of beer.
Yeah. What Carpenter has made it very clear. The best thing about Halloween right now is every time they resurrect it, he just puts his hand out and it just happens to get loaded up with cash. He doesn't care about all of that anymore.
And I would love an interview, and Robert Rodriguez gets close to it on his director's show that he did for his network, El Rey. He gets close to Carpenter saying, I got rejected too many times and my feelings hurt too many times in this industry to try to be a creative anymore. I will enjoy art. I will enjoy video games. I'll enjoy just blazing and like just disassociating.
Yeah.
Because I think he put his heart out like so many times and got hurt. I think he got heartbroken. Yeah, and he's just not willing to make anything again.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, man. I mean, like I don't know, like now when Carpenter does conventions or whatever, he just likes hitting on the girls, rips apart the dudes, and he's just like, so you could see he's definitely wounded in a way, and I get it, like he.
Well, and that's like, I think she doesn't get enough credit, and this isn't. I think based on the times and the roles within the industry and within horror, because if you prop up Carpenter, you kind of put this under the rug is Deborah Hill, I think, is crazy instrumental with the success of the first movie with those lead characters popping.
Absolutely.
Like, watch something like, I mean, these are pale imitators that came at 6 years later, 4 years later after the boom of Friday the 13th. But watch something like Sweet 16 and tell me that those characters are as real as like Laurie and her friends are in Halloween. And that, I mean, that's to me what makes Halloween stick out is the acting and the characters and the dialogue. It feels genuine, even though I was never a teenage girl. If it seems genuine.
You know what? It's true. And that movie is only 90 minutes long, but they make you actually care. It's the character development, and that definitely attributes to they caught you right away, right off the bat, making you care about these characters. You know?
It's a little bit why, like, I think Bob Clark, I mean, who's now kind of thought of as the person who kind of made the template for the slasher movie that came in the 80s, but with Black Christmas.
What a resume he has of difference.
What Christmas Story,
Porky's, and Black Christmas. Like, talk about
and
3 different movies, but classics in each of their genres.
Karate Dog or something, where Pat Morita, I think, does the voice of a dog that like teaches karate. Something Bananas is like his last movie.
That sounds silly.
It does. Yeah, you like that?
It's. I mean, I'm sure it's probably it'd be a great like Mystery Science Theater 3000 movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Ricky, I want to show. I want to show the trailer actually for Sweetmeats.
Are you going to do a live commentary or just?
No, we're just going to go for it. I'll show it, and then we'll talk about it when we get back. So this is going to be a little break. I'm going to put it on right now, all right?
You're almost 40 fucking years old.
Meet Bobby Sweet. All he's ever wanted to do is write and perform country music.
As you know, I would like to become a country music star.
But one thing has always stood in his way.
You got the stage fright.
Meet Laddie.
She's pretty, she's smart, business savvy, a bit intense and kind of rude and angry a lot of the time.
No shit.
And then meet Jerry.
He's a fucking moron.
They're serving up something more than
Burgers and fries!
Burgers and fries!
burgers and fries. So come on down to Sweetmeats and get yourself a treat.
What we served that food critic was human! We served him man meat!
Exactly. So, what you're saying is we need to find more people to grind up.
Bye.
The devil is a woman I know. The devil is a woman I know. The devil is a woman I know. For the good Lord told me so. For the good Lord told me so. For the good Lord told me so. For the good Lord told me so.
All right, there was the trailer for Sweetmeats making its debut next week.
Whoa.
What'd you say, baby?
I said woo.
Well, you're excited, right?
Yeah, I'm in it.
She, Zozo didn't even realize that was you with the beard in the movie. Just till now, she's like, "That's Ricky," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's Ricky." I don't think she saw you with a beard because when she met you, you were clean shaven.
Clean.
Yeah. I had already because I had to take family photos.
Yeah,
and my wife was like, "Get rid of that mustache and that homeless man beard." Well, that happened during the filmmaking, is on the 4th day because we filmed 8 consecutive days for principal photography, and so we had to have everything in the can with Bobby Sweet with the as it's referred to in the movie with you look like a Vietnam vet. Um, but yeah, that ultimately the mustache had to go to during the song performance. You see at the end there, I'm wearing a fake mustache because I had to be clean shaven because indie films do not trump first or last family photos before twins are born.
Oh yeah, no man, that's big. It's big actually. So yeah, Zozo was on set, and I put together a little like montage of pictures and everything, and I do have a little clip, clip of a my eye getting shot at by 100 pounds of pressure from blood.
That was fun to
So
watch.
I just want to show that real quick.
I think it's 120 pounds.
Oh, it was 100. Oh, thank you. It was 135.
Yeah. It was a million pounds of pressure.
This is the clip of me getting shot in the eye.
Oh my God.
Rolling. Action and spread.
Like the Pruder film. It's like back and to the left, back and to the left.
And cut.
One of my favorite things was because the blood that we brought up was mixed by Lizzie and Steve Shribus, who were part of the makeup and special effects team. We had in a big pickle tub lockdown, and the mixture of that blood was we had 2 different kinds of blood in the movie. We have a wraparound story that is set in kind of present day, and the opening kill scene is the blood is supposed to be browner and look more like a something you'd see, say, in like Halloween 2018.
Okay.
Something a little bit more realistic, more contemporary. The blood you got blasted in the face with was what we were calling 70s blood, which was supposed to be more of a like bright red, and like we got lucky with how bright the blue sky was because we didn't light anything.
It was perfect perfect conditions to get
it was a rain the night before,
yeah,
and then like it could not have been better, and it looks like we knew what we were doing.
Yeah,
in the edit, like it looks nice, like you guys all look great, and it like that red hitting you, and I love that, like, I was nice enough to put a mask on your drummer because he was going to get shot in the face. And I'm like, look, he wants it. He signed up for it. Just blast him in the eye.
Well, you know what? I just looked down the barrel of it, and I was just like, don't know why, but you know what? 10 out of 10 times, I'm going to do it again if it's going to come out with this, even though I got some pictures of the after effect from it. It was pretty gnarly for a couple of days. I went and got checked out at the optometrist, and it was pretty. He was like, any more pressure, you probably would have had permanent eye damage, but it's totally worth the stunt credit on IMDb.
I was scared. I was literally.
You were scared,
I was
right?
so scared when it was happening. I was like, no.
See that picture, this last one that I put up, I did the haunt about 2 days later, and oh man, it was perfect because you can't get a contact to look like that.
No.
But that blood was sticky, man. Like I remember going back to the room, and I had a tank top on underneath my shirt, and I almost had to shave it off because it was like gelatinous stuck to me.
Well,
I got it on me too.
You guys performed that night too.
Oh yeah, that's right. We performed after that.
You guys did a full like kick-ass show after.
Yeah.
Basically, Scooby doing it and almost getting blinded. Mike Flincham, who is one of the executive producers and grandson of Bobby Mackey, who appears one of the last locational filmings that occurred there before they shut down, famous haunted bar. He was running the PSI of the tank, and because of the indie nature where we only got one take for a lot of things, especially special effects, early on the first night that we shot the film in that consecutive 8 days was a special effects shoot, which was when I get blasted in the face, but I was wearing glasses, big, as you saw in the trailer, big, like, nerd glasses. I get shot in the face, and it wasn't as, like, impressive as we wanted. So he then was just like, okay, that was only like 70 psi or 80 psi. So like when we're doing this and he's like, we got to get it done in one. Like these are guys we don't know. We don't want to waste their time. He's like, I'm just going to put it up to like 120. We're going to get it exactly the way we want. One guy's wearing a mask. He's going to be fine. You just got like,
I got it.
you got a tribute.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it looks great. You
Wasn't
know,
fun
like,
for me though. I
well,
was
you
I was
scared.
traumatized. I
was like in the back of my head with my eye, but I was thinking like, oh man, I hope I to keep the eye just so I don't have to traumatize my daughter and like give it to her like for Christmas.
All of the stuff you've shown her prematurely.
like Seed of Chucky,
Right.
like literally like
Well,
Seed of
yeah.
Chucky when the
That's your
when
go-to?
Chucky
That's your go-to
gives
horror?
Glenn his arm for his birthday.
Oh yeah, that was good. Right?
Yeah.
I'd be like, here you go, Zozo. I'll always be
And
watching you.
And it's like
Yeah, you can carry around your dad's lazy eye in your pocket. Like, this eye doesn't do anything. It's so lazy.
I think that would be more scary than watching The Exorcist.
The only thing missing was a gauze wrapped around my head, and then me knocking on your door at like 3 a.m, and then you open it, and then you'll be like, "Who is that?" And I'm like, "It's Rocky." I'm like, "Ricky, did you give me your best?"
Oh, that was the worst segue into getting me to bait me, to pimp me into talking into Rocky. You could have just been like, hey, are you ready to talk about Sylvester Stallone now? Because I will.
I know you
didn't
will.
need
I
that.
know.
You
And
didn't
you know
need
what?
to
I
have a
feel like
half-assed
I know you love
segue.
Rock. I know you love Stallone just like as much as I do because we've talked in great length about stuff. But I have to say this and put it on the record that Sweetmeats dabbles into Rhinestone a little bit. Like I feel like it's your. I know
You're
you
the
have
one
like
person.
your little pieces of like homage that you feel like the movie
Yeah.
goes to, but that's where I'm cherry picking. I feel like Rhinestone is one of them.
On purpose?
Yeah.
He loved it. I
will-
think so. Yeah.
I think subconsciously I do more Stallone than I know. I mean, I very consciously will give him his props, and this is without any bit of irony or parody. I do think Sylvester Stallone is our contemporary Shakespeare with the worlds he's created and the character, like the rich characters that he's created. I'm being earnest in saying that. So I rewatched our first movie, All Your Friends Are Dead.
Oh,
I can't remember when or where I was watching it, maybe at a festival or something. And I was just like, oh, no, this is what happened. It was when I watched Rocky by myself. One of my twins had woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had to get up and feed him. And it was the night Carl Weathers passed. And so I popped on Rocky on HBO Max because I knew I was going to be up a while. And I was watching it, and I was just like, oh. The opening of All Your Friends Are Dead, like the first 15 minutes where everyone's shitting on the lead character, that's Rocky. We see these vignettes of each facet of his life wherever he's at. Whether he's at his gym that he felt comfortable, no longer welcomed. He's at the pet shop. The owner is just like, you're no longer welcome here. Like, you're a nuisance. He's on the docks. Gazzo is just like, you can't even do this right.
Yeah.
You're at your lowest point of your life. Even, like, you're at the lowest point of this piece of shit life. Like, and then I was watching, I was just like, I ripped this off. Like, this is All Your Friends Are Dead. And then so Sweetmeats, like you saying Rhinestone, like, I can nerdily pinpoint, like, in retrospect, especially with my wife, her being like, well, this is your this or this is your whatever. Like, I think I subconsciously always have, like, I think my next ripoff is probably going to be Over the Top.
Oh, please. If you
I
need
had
anything I want to be part of this because Over the Top I referenced when I met him, and the reason I did it, I mean, I'm not trying to stop your story, but
No, I don't have a story. Was he? Were you paying to meet him? Was he congenial? Because I've heard.
He was very nice. Yeah, I did the
Good,
the
okay,
evening with
good.
Sylvester Stallone. So it
Good,
was
good,
like
good,
I
good.
put on my tuxedo. I got dressed up. There was a whole crazy obstacle course of trying to get to meet him because the promoter was fucked over a lot of people, but he wasn't going to outsmart me, and I ended up getting to meet him, and only a few people got to meet him that night of the people that paid. Well, anyway, I walk into the room, and I walk up to him, and I said, Mr. Stallone, it's an honor to meet you. Thank you for all the years of entertainment. And I said, I probably could count on the times in my hand that I ever saw my dad emotional. And one of those times is when we watched Over the Top. And he's like, really? That movie? And I'm like, yeah, you know, the whole father-son connection. And I'm just putting this out there that if you ever decide to make Over the Top 2, Ox Hurley, the grandson of Bull, I'm your guy. And he goes, kid, my elbows are shot. I can't make it. And I'm like, you still got it, champ. You're good. And I hugged him.
It's gonna be Thumb War in the sequel.
Oh, yeah, it's totally. So I hugged him. We turned around, put the fists up. Oh, there's the picture right there. Cool. And that was it. It was literally 15, 20 seconds, but that was like probably at the top of my list of people that I've wanted to meet. And just, you know.
Yeah, I have heard a few unfavorable encounters whenever he's been doing anything that is like Rocky oriented or like it's set and it's planned. The bad unfavorable encounters that I've heard have been like spur of the moment, like where he hasn't like, you know, prepared himself to meet people.
Yeah, you know what? He's like very too, you know, he's kind of like I don't know, just recluse kind of person, I guess you could say.
It makes sense. There's a lot of expectations because, like, one of the things his
he's fucking Rocky
first
Balboa
ex-wife
and John
said-
J.
Well,
Rambo, you know, like he's
his first ex-wife was just like people are like, oh my God, I love Rocky, and she's like, I love Rocky too. I wish I was married to Rocky.
oof.
And it's but like when he meets people, like he's Superman, right? Like you're
Yeah.
never gonna be Rocky. Like I can like him for other things. Copland, I think he's phenomenal in Copland.
Yeah, that's a great movie, man.
That should have been an Oscar, kind of like Burt Reynolds with Boogie Nights. That should have been a high, or Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting. Like
Yes.
it should have been for him. Well, I mean, he got that a little bit with Creed.
Oh my God, did you ever see the reaction video of Rappaport when what's his name wins the Oscar instead of Stallone? He fucking goes off. He's like, "Are you kidding me?" I forget what the guy's name is.
But like you can hear stories of that, and like Stallone sometimes, even though he is the creator and he can tap into it and he knows it better than anybody else because he's proven it time and time again. For Creed with Ryan Coogler, when Ryan Coogler's like, well, you have cancer and you're fighting that, he's like, I don't know. He's like, you know, maybe a neighbor has cancer and like maybe we help that neighbor. And they're like, no, that's not gonna work. He's like, you're right. Let's just get rid of the cancer storyline altogether. And he's like, no. He's like, you have to have cancer. You don't get to fight anybody in this movie. So that's why in Creed 2, like, there's definitely more like of a bump of coke of just like, oh, Rocky IV robots. Like, let's let's bring the Son of Drago back.
Right, exactly. He had to have that little punch scene with Drago.
But it's so good. Like, every time Stallone puts out a big movie, he is one of the few people I'm just like, I'll go see it.
Sure.
Like, what are you doing? I'll go see it. When he did Rocky IV, the director's cut, like, I took my dad. I was just like, I don't know what you're doing on this Thursday or whatever, this Fathom Events. because they were saying at that time they weren't going to release it on Blu-ray, and they since have as part of a box set.
Yeah, no,
And,
you
I
can
was
watch
like,
it on Prime or something, I think.
Yeah. And so I told my dad, I was like, they're saying this is the only time they're going to show it. He's going to do an intro from the live event in Philly. It's called Rocky v. Drago. Apparently, there's like 8 or 10 minutes more of Carl Weathers as Apollo, like in it. I was like, we got to go see this. And like, look, at the end of the day, the original cut of the movie is its own like masterpiece of like music videos and montage.
Yeah.
And it's like a comic book, and it's fantastic because if I always equated Rocky 3 to being the Goldfinger of Rocky movies,
Okay.
like with like all the villains and stuff, and like the way it progresses. Rocky 4 is just, man, just so good. I don't know about you, Rocky versus Drago, like the extra scenes of Apollo in the kitchen with Rocky. I'm like, all right, maybe you don't give a ton of dialogue to Carl Weathers.
Or give a ton of dialogue. Like, he cut out all of Bridget Nielsen's dialogue and gave it to Ivan Drago. Like, and he just progressively gets worse because he has like 10 different like dialects. So I'm not a fan of Drago versus Rocky like at all.
Yeah, it was. It
was a brutal watch. I like the robot. Like, I need the robot.
Well, and the whole, he's like, I got rid of the robot because I realized that was a dumb thing to do. That's but again, Stallone is such a good face, man. He got rid of the robot because the guy and him had a contract that if he featured him again, Stallone would have to pay him like $1 million. Yeah.
Which is
so he's like, I thought about I get rid of a sex robot. Like, people ain't into sex robots anymore. It's creepy. Like, like.
Well, maybe it's you against you.
So my question, if I never asked you quit being a woman, you know,
I'll be a man.
I'm scared. You understand?
Now, let me ask you a question back over there. Who's your best friend? Is it this guy named Frankie Fear? You see, Fear is a fighter. We can do this all night, bro.
I'm a weird one. I have grown to appreciate Rocky 5 more.
Oh my god, I love
like,
Rocky 5, man.
Son and Tommy Gunn and all that.
Dude, that scene
like,
with
him shaking in the shower.
Yeah, dude, like, and you get to see his ass, like, it's great. No, the scene where he has a flashback with Mickey in the gym. Yeah. I cry every time I see that, bro.
Yeah.
It's nature's smarter than people think.
Cheese? Is it grilled cheese, though, when, like, Mickey's in the clouds? He's like, get up, you son of a bitch.
Oh, the cheesiest shit in the world. You know what? One night I came home from a night at the tavern. You know, I was a little tipsy, and I go on my phone, and it's a tease or a trailer for him selling the cufflink off of the Rocky site.
Yeah.
And
I got these from Rocky Marciano.
Yeah, they lured me in because I'm crying, and I'm like, I need that because I want to give it to my kid one day. What's this growing out of your ear?
I didn't have that from my dad, but from my fake dad, Sylvester Stallone.
Right. Oh, yeah. Poor Sage Stallone, man.
Person. I like Rocky 5 more than I do Rocky Balboa.
Really?
I
think Rocky Balboa, man, like, he kind of redeemed himself and made as much as, you know, I feel like Rocky 5 is
what it was supposed to do. Yeah.
Yeah. He did a great job, man, like with Balboa, man. But whatever, it's all good. I want to also play Eat the People. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Eat the People. Then we're going to come back. We're going to do some plugs. And we're going to wrap this baby up.
No.
But I'm having so much fun because I can talk about Rocky with you for 10 hours. So I'm going to play Eat the People right now with the poster showing, I guess this is poster version number 2? I don't know.
Been a lot of posters.
Yeah. But here's Eat the People by Demon Scar, featured in Sweetmeats.
The Father, Son, a Holy Ghost will fill your stomach more than most. What's that treat you got in your head? It's the sweetest meat from meat from a God-fearing man. Bit off more than I can chew. I walk away, but I can't quit you. Eat the people, eat the people. Finger licking, finger food. Eat the people, eat the people. You'd have seconds if you could. Eat the people, just a little off the top. Eat the people, eat the people. It's so good, I just can't stop.
See, that's the diversity of sweetmeats, because 1 minute you're watching like an homage to Rhinestone, and then all of a sudden you have an homage to like Guar and Green Jello from Demon Scar, and we throw you that left-hand curveball. Eat the People was a song that Ricky, that's how I originally got involved in the whole thing. Like, me and Ricky crossed paths. I asked him if I could get involved somehow, and he had lyrics to Eat the People, and he was looking for like a metal in the vein of like Doc and Dio type, and I turned around and showed him this. So he had lyrics. I trimmed it down a little bit and made it fit with a back pocket song that Meds had, and that's Eat the People was recorded in less than 24 hours, and that's what you got.
You played it perfectly, because the way it was sold to me, with no lies, just omission of it, the backing track already being recorded, was you're just like, and here it is. And I was just like, oh, holy shit. They were so taken with this idea and with Inspirato. We're able to put this together so quickly. And then one of the special features that's going to be on the Indiegogo Blu-ray, the evolution of a song, featuring interviews from you and the rest of your bandmates. It turns out that was a pre-recorded backing track that ultimately 1/3 of the band did not like the lyrics being joined with it, but now it has become an earworm that is sunk into their heads.
Yeah, absolutely. Jared did
okay.
not like it because it wasn't like in the vein of what we played. But then now he loves it. Like, he's like, last night actually we had 2 more songs to go in the set, and it was Eat the People and God of Thunder, and they're like, you got 1 more to go. We only got 1 more song. And he was like, yo, fuck God of Thunder, we're doing Eat the People, we're gonna end it with that. So we ended our set with Eat the People.
In the movie, when he does a drum roll across the whole set when we're filming the live performance Eat the People at Jason's Woods, he is loving it.
Yeah, no, at that point already he was on board. It was like the first like recording it part. He was just like, yeah, dude, I don't know, man, I don't think I could dig
Did he
this.
feel like he was selling out? Like,
yeah, because you know what, like we did a song called Teenage Exorcist that original, like, we still haven't played Teenage Exorcist Demon Scar. It's a song that I released by Nizza because he was like, dude, this is too cheesy, this is ridiculous, I refuse to play it. And we were like, okay, man, it's fine, whatever, it's not our style of music. But this was
like, you can't veto twice.
Yeah, man, I'm like, dude, this is a different game. I'm like, Teenage Exorcist was for my own sick desires. This is for a possible spot in a trauma movie where you're getting gutted, bro. You got to do it, man. Come on. So I'm glad that he's aboard now, and this is his favorite song.
I like Eat the People.
I love it so
You
much.
do, all right? Zozo?
Yeah,
You know what
it's
I was
good.
thinking about last night? It's also in the vein of, you ever see Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas?
Yeah.
So the soggy bottom guys or whatever they call, those dudes. Look at the birds up in the trees. Those guys, the bad dudes. That are like, that's what I could see them playing Eat the People.
I mean,
It is a good
like
song.
I said, in the special feature, you'll see and you'll hear my original a cappella singing of those lyrics, and it's a marvel. Like, even though you guys already had that pre-recorded track, what you did with putting the lyrics like within that, you elevated it so much. I love it because the band is such an it's tapped into that, like, there's this seed of evil within this restaurant in this town throughout, like I said, throughout the whole movie with the posters, but you guys are not the evil within its own family as the story unravels within Sweetmeats. That's where the horror comes from. But the owner of the restaurant, Nick, is so worried that it's going to be this outside force of this like devil music, but that's where it ends. Like, we got to make sure. Oh, we forgot. We got to kill that devil man, because if we let them take over our town, like, this is after probably like a year, if you're counting up like the time, even though the movie like jumps a lot of time frames, that this restaurant has been killing innocent people for their meat.
Oh,
that they're still
so
like,
good.
So
I
it's
had
like a
that check.
comedy?
I had that tally list of a thing to do, and it isn't until you guys come back through a year later that there's a show poster up still in the restaurant that the killer of the movie, like I said, I'm not going to give it away, is just like, oh, I forgot. I was given permission to go kill this band. I have to go do this.
I
This
must
is
kill
unresolved
the
business.
queen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so he's
And you guys are
driven.
so nice. Like, so we see the performance at Jason's Woods, like the idea where this lands in the movie is the first post-credit sequence. You guys have done your show. The butcher character with the pig mask watches the show and then waits until the next day when you're loading up your equipment to leave to then kill you all. But like, you all don't know, you just think it's this weird fan that you remember seeing from the night before. And you're all like, yeah, come here. Hey, we'd love to talk to you. You enjoyed the show?
Come on, man.
And
It was so fun filming.
It was fun, right?
Yeah, but it
you
was
guys are
like
great.
funny because it was like you
Mm-hmm.
know.
It was because
Very
like
Yeah.
the animation of it, like I was like over
Yeah.
the top, right,
Yeah.
Zozo? So,
Yeah.
And
Ricky,
kudos.
I have some plugs that I have to do, but I want you to go first, man. I know you got some. You're a busy man. You got some stuff coming up, and just go ahead, man. What you got, gigs and stuff?
It would only be it's only possible because of coming up for Trauma Dance next Saturday, the 7th. Also earlier in the day at Williamsburg Comedy Club. So there's Trauma Dance. That's going to be at Lucky 13 Saloon. It's going to be the first ever public focus group screening of Sweetmeats, where you're going to be given cards. It's a free event, but it's first come, first serve, and Sweetmeats screens at 11:30. Lloyd's going to be, and you just got done filming the Power of Positive Murder. It's supposed to be the final day of principal photography of him over in New Jersey. Lloyd is supposed to come over at 11:30 and watch the first screening of Sweetmeats, and then be part of the Q&A afterwards, which won't begin until 1:15 a.m. And then it's supposed to be moderated by a guest moderator. Is that you?
No,
Have you secured that? No, it's not you.
no, I'm in it. I'm in the Q&A. Like I talked to
Okay.
Sabrina, but there's I think Zach Amico is doing it.
Oh, okay. I had no idea who I just saw on the flyer, guest moderator.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a late night, earlier in that night, like I said, the other poster, you don't have to show it, but Williamsburg Comedy Theater. I'm going to do there it is, a set there with bevy of talented people. Lucas Arnold of VH1's Wild and Out, Sarah Pop-Tarts, Mary Santora, Sharia Mattis, and Tina Sabian. That is Saturday at 6. And then on Sunday, after the screening of Sweetmeats, after I go to a Mets game with Nick Hines, I'm going to be doing the Broadway Comedy Club with Lucas, Mary Santora, and Tara Kavindu. So these are my first New York City stand-up shows. So I'm looking forward to getting some stand-up in as I start hitting the road more.
That's awesome. And you know what? You were telling me this is going to be the first time you're doing it in New York. So, and now you're doing 2 of them. You're doing one in the city and one in Brooklyn. So that's pretty impressive, my brother.
Hey, it's all I can say is the people who are on the shows are really supportive, and the venues, Broadway Comedy Club and Williamsburg Comedy Theater or Comedy Club, were really receptive. Very last minute, that I was just like, oh, if I'm going to be up there, I could maybe get some reps in, do some shows, see how some new material works.
Yeah, I'm gonna come to the Saturday one.
Ooh, very cool.
Yeah.
The ultimate seeing what material works is I am not nervous. I am very anxiously excited about people seeing Sweetmeats for the first time.
Me too, man. I'm very excited about that, and it was great actually, because when I went up, I'm part of this film that Lloyd's filming right now upstate, and I was able to drop Sweetmeats' name, and it actually got me a nice spot as an extra when they were filming, and they actually called me back. I'm going back up next week to do 2 more days, so I'm looking forward to that, doing that, and I credit it to you, Ricky. Thank you, man, for bringing me aboard for this this awesome picture, and I look forward to sharing that experience with you.
I mean, I credit to you to being so affable while working. Like I said, we spent, it sounds romantic, we spent one day together, one night together, almost a year ago, and it felt very, very bonding, very quick with all of us. Like that night we hooked up at the footage after you guys were done performing. We were busy all day, and you and Zozo came back to our room, and we watched a little bit of the footage because we were just all excited to see it. I didn't even know at that point you were really like Captain Hooking, like looking out of like one eye.
But I was so excited, man. I was just on adrenaline, man. Like I knew we got something special, man. And you know what? And I'm like, fuck it, it's only an eye. I got another one. So I got some plugging going on right now, and I actually, before I do that, Zozo is starting a big 4th grade next week, and I just want to wish her the best of luck for this season of school, and you are the light in my life, Zozo, and I can't wait to see what's next for you, because I know you're gonna be doing your thing soon too, Annie, right?
And
yeah.
I'm excited for Sweetmeats too.
Are you? Yeah, because that's your big screen debut. That's right. She plays the child.
But
Sweetmeats.
It's not the only thing I'm in the credits for.
No, you get a special credit thanks in the Forest Hills.
I'm excited for that too.
That's a plug of what I have coming up too. But before I get that, I want to thank Mr. Beery's for the sponsorship that he does, Primal Scream. There's always an event going down there each week. Monday-oki is a great night to start your week off on Monday nights. Kevin Mundy runs it. And on Tuesday, bring your own vinyl. Wednesday, the continuation of Let It Bleed Wednesdays. That's the Rolling Stones tribute. Thursday, the best open mic on Long Island, sponsored by Murphy's Music. And this weekend, they have some great shows. On the 30th, Friday, Bad Mary, Mega Infinity, and Joker's Republic. And on the 31st is the Tom Finnegan benefit show. Now, at Mr. Beery's, before I jump into the other plugs, on, I believe it is the 12th. Just let me check my calendar. October 12th, we are doing HorrorCon 2. And Patty Mullen from Frankenhooker is our special guest. She's going to be there. The Henrietta, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, classic. She plays Elizabeth / Frankenhooker. She's going to be there. And we're going to be doing a Q&A with her. And there's going to be people there selling their horror stuff. And we're going to have some great food. It's going to be a great night. And can't think of another...
I'm probably selling my drawings.
That's right. Zozo's going to be there.
I'm an artist. And aren't we picking her up?
Yes, we are. We're going to be her valet for the day, which is another honor of mine that I get to pick up Frankenhooker and bring it to Beery's. So, now, on September 3rd, Unhealed, that is Med's side project. He's going to be releasing Joyland Elixir. On the 7th of September, that's Trauma Fest, and we're going to be showing Sweetmeats, as Ricky was saying. On the 13th of September, the Forest Hills soundtrack featuring Demon Scar, Froy Collective, Coventry Carols, Creep Scene, Unhealed, Aiden, Shock to the System, and me, featuring Greg Gavitt, will be released digitally. Pretty soon, CDs will be out as well. On the 17th, the new single from Demon Scar, Chemicals, will be released. On the 23rd, I will be releasing my new single, Kill Hate Me. And on the 8th of October, I could finally say it, kids, that The Forest Hills will be released on DVD. You can get it in Walmart and in Target, and there's going to be a bunch of different outlets. We're going to be having an embargo soon with gear you could pick up, shirts, what have yous. We're going to do a small theatrical run. But yes, The Forest Hills will be out.
Yay!
So I'm very excited about that. This weekend, if you're in the New Hampshire area, I do also have a gig on the 31st. And no, on the 31st? Yeah, the 31st, which is... Actually, it's September 1st. I'm going to be playing at the Jewel Music Center in New Hampshire, and it's going to be a stacked weekend. Cottonmouth Kings are going to be there. First Jason, Ron Killings, a.k.a. R-Truth from WWE, Fury, Dr. Giggles, bunch of different other bands. But come out if you're around in New Hampshire. And, I think that's going to be it for tonight. I want to thank Ricky for joining us again. Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you.
I will see you next week. And until then, I'm Nick Graystone, and you're not. Have a good night.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to Primal Scream. I'm Nick Graystone, a.k.a. The Nizza. Each week, Primal Scream is produced by Tony Walker and executive produced by Demon Scar. Always remember, nobody writes your story but you. Later.